Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Vanderpump Rules, Season 7, Episode 16. I don't like the sound of your voice. Okay, this episode kicks off with everybody getting all dolled up for the big Tom grand opening. We open at Ariana and Tom's apartment. They're getting dressed. Tom's picking out his perfect white suit. We keep cutting to all the different couples in their apartments and everybody getting ready. The common theme is that everybody is kind of talking about Lala and, what went down at Billy's brunch. They're in two very decisive camps, pro Lala and anti Lala, and it's pretty much what you would expect. Sandoval kind of siding with James, thinking Lala was insane for screaming and yelling that way. And when Brittany told Jax about it, Jax heard that Raquel mentioned that Lala was using the dad card. And that, of course, hit a nerve with Jax because Jax's dad just died. So he's like, oh, I would go off on her. Well, Lala did. So, yeah. So Jax, of course, seems to be on Team Lala with that. Over at Katie in Schwartz's apartment, Katie is complaining that Tom doesn't have enough time to spend with her. And that's simply foreshadowing for what's to come, which is pretty icky. Anyway, Sandovals got the white suit, a white motorcycle helmet with his name on the back, with T. Sandy on the back. And he gives one to Ariana, and hers says Dumpling? I didn't even know he called her that. Whatever. So he is ready to go off and pick up Schwartz. They are so adorable. They are in matching everything. Matching suit, matching shirt, matching shoes, matching gloves, matching helmets. Schwartz's says Tishwa. Sandoval is just so cute about it. Before he gets there, Schwartz is like, I don't know what he's doing. He's like practicing what it's going to be like to own the place. He's going through different scenarios in his head. Like, oh, the women's room is out of toilet paper? I'll take care of that. It's kind of cute, I guess. I don't know. When Sandoval gets there and Schwartz gets in his little sidecar, off they go, and they're so excited and thinking they're so cool, and they got their goggles on. And then you hear like put, 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 put. Sandoval remembered everything but to put gas in the motorcycle. In a way, it seems like, yes, of course he did. But in another way, I'm thinking this was somehow a little Bravo thing. Maybe. Everyone is showing up at Tom Tom, all dressed up, all gorgeous, to the confessional. Kristen said, I'm just so happy that Lisa allowed me to come. I mean, I think she really likes me. I mean, this time next year, who knows? I'll be walking into... Oh, no, you won't. Stop thinking that Lisa Vanderpump likes you, Kristen. She did not invite you. She just didn't stop you from coming. All right, so the only one that knows about the motorcycle is Ariana, not even Katie. Nobody else knows, well, because it was a surprise for Schwartz. So her job now is to get everybody out in front for when they arrive. So she's, gathering everybody, even Lisa, and they're all standing on the sidewalk in front of Tom Tom. And around the corner, here comes the motorcycle with the little sidecar and the two boys in their white suits and their white helmets. I mean, it's kind of awesome and ridiculous all at the same time. I do kind of love it. So now we're kind of like going through Tom Tom, and there's like a courtyard area in the back where their table is. It is so cool. It really is. I mean, I might just be a basic white bitch, but I really want to go there sometime. It's so cool. I love what Nick Elaine has done with the place. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is still on a ladder in the corner hanging one of the last light fixtures. That job may never be done. So now they are sitting at the table, all the main characters. The waiter's coming around for their drink orders, and Brittany orders a tequila shot. Weren't you just at the doctor's office? I could understand not being able to resist once you are in Mexico, but you're still in WeHo, girl. I mean, try to pace yourself. Even Jack said, honey, you're not supposed to have alcohol. And Brittany's, okay, here's Brittany's logic. Well, yeah, Jax, that's why I'm having straight tequila, because I can't have any of these fancy drinks. I'm just going to have a couple. I mean, I'm not going to be like my usual down the hatch. Okay, so she's just going to have a couple of tequila shots. I mean, she's an adult, but I just feel like that pain of like the vomiting all night, that would be enough to make me not drink. Because I hate throwing up. All right, now we see Katie, and she's kind of like, I think she takes a selfie with her and Tom, and then she's like, Tom, look, Bubba, look at it. She's trying to get him to look at the picture, but everybody around him is excited and congratulating him, and he's, saying hi to everybody. I get it. She feels left out, and that's her husband, but he just opened up a new restaurant in West Hollywood, and I would imagine that this is probably the biggest thing that's ever happened in his life. So can't you just kind of let him have his moment here? I wouldn't be trying to get my husband's attention at the event. He's coming home to you tonight, theoretically. So wait until then, and then when you guys are alone, you can have all his attention and talk to him about it. And I don't know, maybe you guys think it's right what she's doing. I might just be predisposed to be annoyed with Katie, because I've been pretty annoyed with her lately. I don't know. It's possible I'm not being fair. Anyway, her trying to get his attention and him ignoring her, it's pretty awkward to watch. But not nearly as awkward as our next couple, Sheena and Adam. Sheena keeps saying, well, we're not a couple, we're not dating. Yeah, no kidding. Nobody thinks you're dating. You are captor and captive. Anyway, we come over to where those two are sitting. She's playing with his hair, pushing it to the side a little. And she's like, I wish you were coming to Mexico. Adam, no reaction out of Adam. Nothing close to, yeah, me too, or I'm going to miss you. No, nothing like that. The most animated he becomes is when she said, what are you going to do when I'm gone? And he goes, oh, I'm going to get a lot done. Yes, I would imagine that when your hands are uncuffed, you can be more productive. Oh my God. Sheena is oblivious to everything. She says, I'm going to FaceTime you when I'm gone. Adam's reply, I'm going to block you from all social media. And there's some nervous laughter, but I'm not so sure that was a joke, Sheena. Now, over in a little group, we have all the ladies chit-chatting. Lala says, Mama needs this trip to Mexico so bad. Stassi goes, yeah, what happened at Billy's brunch with you and Raquel? And Lala said, Raquel said, I've been extremely mean and she can't use her dad as an excuse. So I heard that and I lost it. In case you're wondering, Lala, that's exactly what Jax would have done. So as she's explaining, Lisa Vanderpump comes up, sits down behind where the girls are, and she calls Lala over to her. So Lala goes to sit by Lisa, and Lisa goes, what happened at the brunch? Lala's like, which part are you talking about? That should have been a clue right there for Vanderpump. There are a couple of incidences that you might have been referring to, so before I incriminate myself, why don't you tell me which one you know about? So Vanderpump says, an altercation with Billy? Lala's like, no, not with me and Billy. Oh no, you were not screaming at Billy too. So she's like, no, not with Billy. I wasn't confrontational. Oh no. Meanwhile, around the room, everybody else is in like little groups telling their experience of where they were when it all went down. Then I guess Lisa asked her about James, and Lala said, I had a very civilized conversation with James. I think I handled myself quite well. Now, of course, Bravo is doing flashbacks and letting us know exactly what she said and what she did and who she screamed at. And so Vanderpump is like, well, I'm hearing two very different stories. Who else was there? Sheena, come talk to me. So Sheena now comes over, and Lisa wants Sheena's version of it. So Sheena's like looking at Lala, and she's kind of like, well, it was quite eventful. Lala to the confession cam is like, Sheena is just throwing me under the bus. In Sheena's confession cam, she's saying, well, I'm not going to lie to my boss. Well, how about this, girls? Bravo filmed the whole thing. So, Lala, you have to know that it's going to come out anyway. And Sheena, it's not about lying to your boss. It's about you looking like an idiot come reunion time if you don't tell her what really happened. It was kind of silly. But she did ask Sheena about James and how he conducted himself. And Sheena basically corroborated James's story. So Lisa was a little surprised and impressed with James's behavior. Okay, now over in the bar area, Sandovals behind the bar, and Schwartz is like kind of bellied up to the bar. Katie's next to him. There's some other people. And again, Katie keeps trying to talk to him and get his attention or get him to pay attention to her. Why now, Katie? That's your husband. You live with him. You guys must be alone a lot, I would think. Why do you need his undivided attention at the grand opening of his restaurant? In the confessional, Katie said, I mean, look, I know it's his big night and he has to schmooze and everything, but no but. It's his big night. He has to schmooze. Leave him alone. That evening ends with the Toms are kind of like dancing with Lisa, and then they get her into the sidecar. And Sandoval drives off with her, and she's kind of like holding on for dear life. It was kind of cute. And that was the end of the grand opening party. Next, we get the montage of everybody packing for Puerto Vallarta. And Beau is in a T-Rex costume. I'm not totally sure why. Stassi doesn't know why. Beau said it's because he likes to make Stassi laugh, which is good. And maybe that's all it was, but it seemed a little weird. Anywho, Stassi mentions that she is actually going to have to be working on writing her book while they're in Mexico because, deadline. Then we are over at Jax and Brittany's, and they're talking a little bit about the engagement party again, and Jax said, should we even be going to Mexico with all the planning we have to do? Good God, what is their wedding planning going to look like? If the planning for the engagement party is this elaborate, I couldn't do it. Anyway, Brittany mentions that she wants wildflowers, and Jax said, do we have to pay for those? And she's like, Jax, yes. And it's the confessional. He's like, they're wild. Like anybody could just pick them. Why do I feel like we're paying for somebody to pick weeds for us? In Brittany's confessional, she said, Jax just needs to understand that whatever I say goes. This is not a democracy. It's a Britocracy. Brittany has been impressing me lately, and her just even making that joke or maybe even understanding what a democracy is, it's all impressive to me. And I'm kind of happy for her. Oh, the packing montage with Sandoval and Ariana is priceless. I'm kind of loving Sandoval. I love how particular he is. I think it's all hilarious. He's talking about all the essentials he needs to pack for this trip. He's got like a 5-inch, like a serious looking knife. And he said, I need scuba grade flippers. I need a full mask snorkel. He's got a white suit, which is not the white suit that he wore to the party. This is a different white suit. All this stuff flat iron, can of hairspray. Ariana's like, just rolls her eyes. He's got these belts in his hand, and she goes, Tom, you don't need 2 belts. And he looks at her like she's crazy. And he goes, these are just my 2 red belts. It's just so fun. Did I mention that he also has a hat box? Yeah. And they're probably only going for 2 days. Next, we see everybody at the airport, and Lala said, I can't even remember the last time I flew commercial. Normally when I fly, we have assistants, and they handle all my luggage. They take care of my passport. I just need to take care of all of this. Lala, I love you. Don't make me smack you. All right, so they're getting on the plane, and randomly, Schwartz and Sheena have both been upgraded to first class. Schwartz is like in the row behind Sheena. And when the others come in, Katie sees that and she goes, what are you doing up here? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Or maybe it was Sheena that told her, yeah, they just called us up there and they upgraded our seats. So as Katie's going through the aisle, she says to Schwartz, trade with me. And he won't. Which, I think is kind of funny, except if my husband did that, probably would not think it was so funny. Okay, so back at home, James shows up at Villa Rosa, and I guess to visit with Max, although I don't feel like Max has any friends. And I'm also suspicious of anybody that wants to hang around Max, because I always feel like there's an ulterior motive, like they're trying to get more screen time or they're trying to get closer to Lisa Vanderpump. I don't know. I feel bad for Max, but I also think he might be a little odd. Why doesn't he have more screen time? Doesn't that seem a little weird? Anyway, they act like they're going to go play pool, but now Lisa comes down and she's all dressed up and ready to be on camera, so she calls James over to sit and have a cup of tea with her. And basically she tells him that she believes him. She is happy with the way he behaved, with Lala. And this is also sad to me. James is beaming at her he's just so happy that he got Lisa's approval, like a little schoolboy. But then, of course, as is Lisa's way, she also has to kind of knock him down a peg and ask him about his drinking. I don't totally not understand why she's doing it. James is an idiot because he doesn't think he has a drinking problem. And Lisa is like, are you kidding me? She finds out that he had a drink with his dad. His dad thought he deserved it to celebrate. And Lisa's like, oh my God. Who celebrates the good work that an alcoholic has been doing by giving them a drink? James's dad. Because that guy's a hot freaking mess. And you know it. You're his friend, Lisa, for some inexplicable reason. So you know he's a mess and not good for James to be around his own dad, unfortunately. When James says he's not an alcoholic, she's like, have you lost a job due to alcohol? And of course the answer is yes to everything. So she's like, I mean, like I said, he's not happy that he's being lectured to, but if he thinks he can control his drinking, he's delusional. Anyway, back in Mexico, everyone is on the shuttle bus heading to the hotel, and Lala again, God, I love when she speaks in third person. Lala announces, Lala can't work because she's trying to have fun. Boom, boom, boom. And Stassi goes, I want to talk about myself in third person. Stassi needs a 1-month extension because she's trying to have fun. Side note, Stassi, don't ever try to rap again, please. Thank you. So now they get to the hotel and Schwartz is like, let's all take a moment to appreciate our last moments of sobriety. Side note, remind me never to go on a vacation with these people. They all have such high hopes and they all seem to be so looking forward to it and, oh, I need a getaway, I can't wait. They have to know by now that it's going to end up disastrous, right? Well, this one's beginning disastrous, at least for some. We are just getting the room assignment and Bravo has done this very funny thing where as we see Ariana and Tom go into their room and Jax and Brittany see their room for the first time and Stassi and Bo see their room. Everybody, all these couples are like opening the door, and it's like, ah, ah. These rooms are enormous and gorgeous, and the views are stunning. They must be up on like the 100th floor, and they are overlooking the ocean, and it's just spectacular. And then we have Schwartz and Katie walk into their room. Now, first of all, the soundtrack stops. It's dead silence. The two walk in. Katie's got the sourest look on her face. They throw their bags on the bed. Katie goes out to the balcony. Schwartz says to the confessional, yeah, Katie has been rage texting me the entire flight there. Why? Because he wouldn't give up his seat in first class for her. Like I said, we were cutting to the other couples seeing their rooms too. And when Jax and Brittany are heading to their room, Brittany is like hugging the inside wall because on the other side, there is just like a glass railing overlooking this. Like I said, it looks like they're 100 floors up. It's such a gorgeous view. I mean, I can understand it's a little scary, but Brittany tells us that she has a terrible fear of heights and that she has had a reoccurring dream since she was a child that she goes to visit Santa Claus. In my dream, I'm going to sit on Santa's lap and he pushes me over the ledge at the mall. And I'm like hanging on for dear life. Oh my God. As a child, you are dreaming that Santa Claus is trying to kill you? Someone should probably look into that. That's an interesting one. Anyway, back to the fun room. Katie and Schwartz. Katie is in the hammock out on their balcony, and Schwartz comes out there, and Katie said, well, I'll be sleeping here tonight. This is about as romantic as this vacation's gonna get. And Schwartz is like, Bubba, why are you doing that? Why are you being in a wet blanket? Then he tells her she puts a damper on about 70% of their vacations. And based on the montage we get from Bravo, 70% is probably pretty accurate. It may even be a little generous. Anyway, Tom said, I can't believe I have to deal with this because you had to sit in a random seat for like a 2.5-hour flight. Katie said, that's not it. For the last 4 months, I've barely seen you. And Tom's like, I see you every day. It's a job. I have obligations. And then he's like, I feel sorry for our neighbors because they're out on the balcony yelling at each other. Then we find out who their neighbors are. On the other side of the partition, in a hammock together, all cozy, is Tom and Ariana, and they're hearing everything. Katie goes, shut up. Stop talking and just listen to me, Tom. I just need you to listen to me. That's when Tom says what a husband should never say to his own wife. The problem is, I don't like the sound of your voice. I mean, I was on your side, Tom, until that, because honestly, don't. They fight so dirty with each other. I don't like that. He's like, it's like a cacophony. Rah, 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 rah. Okay, well, thanks for the demonstration, because I'm sure that helped. Meanwhile, the next door neighbors, Tom and Ariana, are listening, like I said, and Tom goes, I listen to you. And Ariana's like, not all the time, not very well. And he's like, yes, I do. This is so bad, but like, that would be me. My husband and I would be in a hotel. We would hear an argument from somebody else, and I'd be like, you do that too. Not good. Do not start an argument with your own spouse based on two other people who are arguing. But I mean, I don't know, maybe it's human nature. It's fine for Tom and Ariana, though, because she kind of laughs and she goes, you give great side eye, because he's kind of just glaring at her. Again, they're mushed together in a hammock, so I think they're fine for right now. As for the Schwartzes, Katie tells Tom he's a shitty husband, and Tom tells her she's a shitty wife. So, to be continued. Yeah, that's where this episode ends. And again, remind me never to vacation with these people, because previews for next week show that the Schwartz's energy seems to be spreading throughout the other couples. Not great. Regardless, that's next week and I'll be here for it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time. Please consider subscribing to Jill Informed if you haven't yet done so. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't be shy, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Hope I see you next Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of Vanderpump Rules. Bye-bye.